As of now, over 200,000 acres of Colorado have burned. It's been going on for several weeks now, and it's made the air smoky, and the air quality is so bad there's actually been warnings sent to people to not go outside. It's so strong, and there's so much pollution in the air, that you can't even see the mountains anymore. The views are completely ruined. These fires have burned grass, bushes, flowers, trees, nests for squirrels and birds, and have ravaged through homes of thousands of animals, leaving nothing but ashes and blackened sticks in their wake. It's been very bad for fire this year in Colorado. In fact, there's over 5 of them burning right now, and not all of them are even half contained yet. That's pretty bad news, and it makes us wonder if God is paying attention to us at all, since it would be nice to see him snap his fingers and with a wave of his hand cast a whole bunch of rain to just come over the whole state and put all the fires out. But he hasn't done that. Years ago, the people of Israel felt the same way. They had their country invaded, their people were stolen, and the whole nation was split up and sent away into distant places to live in exile for years at a time. They did this decade after decade with no end in sight. It looked like they were going to lose their holy places and even their entire culture forever. But God had a plan for them. Even in the middle of this dark time, he knew what would happen, and he sent his messages to the people to encourage them and tell them that it was worth waiting and worth hanging on. He knew he would rescue them eventually, and he told the people he'd promised it, so they'd better believe it. Just like our own fires, it's not all bad news, and we shouldn't lose hope when we see the state burning. As a matter of fact, fires may seem horribly destructive, but some of them are actually quite necessary for the health of a forest. There's a special type of pine cone known as a serotinous cone. It's sealed with a sappy kind of resin that the tree produces, and it packs and kind of cements the pine cone together. These cones will only open up in the presence of a fire, when there's enough heat to melt the resin and burn the sap away. Then the cones open and the seeds are able to flutter out, and the heat from the wind and the gravity causes them to drift and spread throughout the forest floor. So it turns out that fire may seem like it destroys quite a bit of a forest, and there is a lot of destruction which happens from it. But sometimes that's exactly what's needed in order to spread new life. There are some seeds that won't actually begin to grow at all until the heat of a fire begins their germination process and causes them to begin growing in the first place. In addition, when you look across a landscape that looks utterly ravaged by fire, all you see is the death left over from the flames. But in actuality, all of that ash is very helpful for the forest. It's extremely good at absorbing moisture when rains finally come, and it's packed full of nutrients that all of the new plants and growth need in order to start up a new life in the area where the fire once went through. In fact, burned regions from the past are some of the most lush and rich forest lands we have now. So even though it seems like things may be pretty dark, and things may be going wrong, remember God always has a plan. Even in something as destructive as a fire, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, he resurrects our souls from the destruction of our own world. He will always rescue us, he will always redeem, and he always has a plan to make things work out. Amen.